Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're really digging into the technology behind hospital at home, or HaH, what it takes to make it work, and not just work, but scale up.
Yeah, and it's fascinating. You quickly realize, you can't just grab standard hospital tech off the shelf.
Right, like sticking an ICU monitor in someone's bedroom and calling it a day. That's clearly not the answer.
Exactly. It needs tech that's actually built for the home environment, purpose-built. So what we've done is pull together findings from some key global players. We're talking the US, Singapore, Portugal, the Netherlands.
Kind of global snapshot to give you a shortcut, really.
That's the idea, a shortcut to understanding where things stand right now.
And our focus, our mission for this deep dive, is to figure out what's actually working in HaH tech. But maybe more importantly, what are those, like, one or two really sticky points, the hurdles slowing things down?
hmm And we're leaning heavily on the work from the U.S. Hospital at Home Users Group's Tech Council. They were set up specifically to advise, government, industry, clinicians on what actually needs to be built, tech that fits the purpose.
Okay. And they framed this whole challenge around, what, 5 key areas?
Yeah, 5 operational domains where tech is crucial if HAH is going to scale properly. We're looking at virtual visits, how you identify patients in the first place, remote patient monitoring, RPM team coordination, and the ever-important supply chain.
All right, let's unpack that. Starting with the U.S. perspective, particularly what places like Mass General found were the big gaps.
Okay, first up, virtual physician visits. The basics are pretty standard, tablets, maybe hotspots if needed, some remote tools like digital stethoscopes.
Seems straightforward enough.
But the number one issue, the absolute killer, is connectivity.
The connection dropping, freezing.
Exactly. Picture trying to assess a patient and the video just freezes, or you lose the connection entirely. It completely breaks the model.
Wow. So is solving basic broadband access almost like step 0 for these programs?
It really is foundational. You can't build on shaky ground. And then there's the tech literacy piece. Think about the patients in Massachusetts. The average age was in the 60s.
Right, so complex interfaces are out. Audio needs to be crystal clear too, I imagine.
Absolutely critical. The provider needs to conduct a real exam virtually, and the patient just needs it to work simply.
And the big improvement needed there, seems obvious, but often isn't done, is better integration with the EHR, the electronic health record.
Yes, and having adaptive tech built in, for patients who might have vision or hearing impairments, it needs to be accessible.
Okay, so that's the visit itself. But before that, you have to find the right patient. Identification and enrollment.
Right. And this is, surprisingly perhaps, still heavily manual in many U.S. programs, or maybe a hybrid approach.
Really?
Yeah.
With all the data flying around.
Well, that's the problem. There's too much data coming from the emergency department or the inpatient floors. It swamps the human screeners trying to find eligible HAH candidates quickly.
So speed is the issue, rapidly sifting through all that clinical data.
Speed, yes, and also assessing the home situation. Current tech often lacks the ability to quickly evaluate, is the home environment safe, supportive? That's often the deciding factor.
Yeah, that makes sense. The clinical side is only half of the picture.
And then even if you find someone, getting that information transferred smoothly to the HAH team is another challenge. Lots of drop balls there.
So where's the opportunity? AI.
Definitely. Faster EHR-based screening, maybe enhanced by AI, perhaps even large language models looking for those patterns. And a really interesting idea is pushing info to the patient earlier, like while they're still in the waiting room or even in the ambulance, giving them the option up front.
Okay, interesting. Let's shift gears to RPM, remote patient monitoring. This is the sort of continuous connection.
Yeah, the lifeline. It can be anything from, intermittent checks with Bluetooth devices to full-on continuous telemetry like in a hospital.
And the biggest headache here, you mentioned hurdles.
Oh, the number one challenge, overwhelmingly, is device accuracy. And specifically, false alarms.
False alarms, that sounds frustrating.
It's more than frustrating. It's a massive drain. Imagine getting an urgent alert for a critical vital sign, scrambling a nurse, calling the patient frantically.
Only to find out the sensor slipped or the patient just rolled over in bed.
Exactly. It burns resources, creates cynicism among staff. I mean, who trusts an alert system that cries wolf all the time?
I can see how that would undermine the whole thing. And it probably impacts patient adherence too, right? If the device is annoying or always seems wrong.
Absolutely. If it's clunky, uncomfortable, or constantly beeping incorrectly, patients just won't use it consistently.
So what are clinicians asking for?
Flexibility, mainly. Being able to maybe switch between continuous monitoring and less frequent asynchronous checks when appropriate. And the dream, a single comfortable device that accurately monitors all the key vital signs comprehensively. Less juggling of different gadgets.
And again, tying it back, EHR integration.
Always. Getting those alerts routed correctly, immediately, to the right person, and having the data flow seamlessly into the patient's main medical record, not stuck in some separate app.
Okay, that covers the clinical tech side. What about the logistics, team coordination, supplies?
Yeah, the operational backbone.
Yeah.
For coordination, teams are often using a mix of tools like Microsoft Teams or secure chat apps, which is fine, but
What?
the real challenge is managing complex schedules and, crucially, route optimization.
Ah, the traveling nurse problem.
Precisely. When your team is spread out across a geographic area, you absolutely need to know who's available, where they are, and what the most efficient route is for the next visit. GPS visualization is key.
Right, managing 3 patients manually is one thing. 30 or 50 requires real tech.
And that flows right into the supply chain. Inventory management for HaH sounds simple, but tracking where every IV bag, specialized kit, or portable monitor is located, it's often still manual. Sticky notes and spreadsheets.
That doesn't scale.
Not at all. And there's often a lack of transparency, like, did the order for supplies actually get placed? Is it on its way? When will it arrive?
And they highlighted one very specific piece of missing tech, something about IV pumps.
Yes, remote control access with IV pumps.
Why is that so critical?
Think about it. In the hospital, if lab results come back and you need to adjust an IV drip rate, the nurse just walks over and does it instantly.
Yeah.
But if the patient is miles away at home and you can't remotely confirm the pump is running right or adjust the dose,
You have to send someone out immediately.
exactly, a simple dose adjustment becomes an expensive, resource-heavy, urgent visit. It introduces clinical risk and delay. That remote access is a safety and efficiency game changer.
Wow. Okay, so summing up the U.S. findings from that Mass General work, it seems like friction is the enemy.
That's a great way to put it. Friction in communication, friction in data getting where it needs to go, friction in just moving people and stuff around efficiently.
So are these purely American problems, or is this a global theme?
Let's zoom out because, yeah, these friction points are pretty universal. First stop, Singapore. A study from the National University Health System, NUHS at home. They did a mixed method study looking specifically at provider usability, the human side.
Okay, what do the providers think?
Well, interestingly, the overall usability scores were actually really high, like 4.5 out of 5 for virtual consults and RPM.
So they liked it. Convenience, less travel.
Definitely. They appreciated the convenience, the efficiency gain from not traveling, even feeling safer from infectious diseases. That all scored well.
But there's always a but, isn't there?
There is, and here's the nuance. While usefulness and ease of use were rated high, the scores for effectiveness and reliability were significantly lower.
So easy to use, but maybe not always effective or reliable. What did the qualitative data say?
It pointed to struggles with communication and engagement. How do you build that patient rapport over a screen? How do you pick up on subtle, nonverbal cues?
The art of medicine bid.
Exactly. And then the usual suspects, technical glitches, connectivity problems rearing their head again.
So the tech can handle the function, maybe, but not always the finesse.
That seems to be the takeaway. Their big recommendations were better training for providers on how to do virtual assessments effectively, making sure the systems are rock solid, reliable, and again, deep EMR integration.
Okay, reliability and integration keep coming up. Now, Portugal, they had an interesting innovation for saving time.
Yeah, this is really cool. Lydia Rodriguez's team in northern Portugal identified a huge bottleneck. Clinicians were spending, on average, 101 minutes per day just manually reviewing charts to find eligible HaH patients.
Wow, nearly 2 hours a day just on screening. That's inefficient.
Hugely. So they developed an algorithm, the HD Signal Intelligent Platform. It uses machine learning, looking at things like ICD-10 diagnosis codes and, importantly, geographic distance from the hospital, like, can we realistically serve this patient?
And it flags potential patients automatically.
Right. It flags or rejects candidates automatically. And the result,
Yeah,
patient selection time dropped by 78%.
78%.
Yeah.
From 101 minutes down to just 22 minutes a day.
Exactly. And the platform learns to get smarter based on which patients the clinicians ultimately accept or reject.
That's a massive efficiency gain, freeing up clinician time for actual care.
That's the whole point. Okay, finally, let's hop over to the Netherlands. Amsterdam UMC. Their approach is really interesting because it's driven by this national ethos. Care should be by yourself, if possible, at home, if possible, and digitally, if possible.
A clear guiding principle. And their strategy for tech.
They made a really conscious decision not to bolt on lots of external HH apps. They were worried about cost, getting locked into vendors, and ending up with clunky integrations that only sort of worked.
So what do they do instead?
They decided to build their virtual ward functionality directly inside their existing Epic EHR system, fully integrated from the start.
Ambitious. But challenging, I bet.
Hugely. Two massive challenges they hit immediately. First, the business case.
The money.
Right. HaH reimbursement there is much lower, maybe 600 euros a day, versus 900 euro or even 1,200 for an inpatient bed.
So financially, it's harder to justify.
It is initially. So
Yeah.
their strategy is start small, pilot projects, gather data, prove the financial case works before trying to scale massively.
Smart. And the second challenge?
Data integration barriers. Even building within Epic, getting automated device data to flow in smoothly, or sharing data with external home care agencies who might use different EMRs. It's still really hard. The systems just don't talk well yet.
The interoperability problem strikes again.
Always. So their approach is pragmatic. Start with lower complexity patients, like maybe someone with delayed gastric emptying. Nail the process, learn the kinks.
And then move up to more complex conditions like heart failure later.
Exactly. Prove the concept. Build capability incrementally.
Okay, so if we pull all this together, US, Singapore, Portugal, Netherlands, what are the big unifying themes you see?
Well, number one, without a doubt, is connectivity and interoperability. It screams from every case study, whether it's connections dropping during visits in the US or the Dutch struggling to get different EMRs to talk. The friction happens when systems don't connect seamlessly, both tech systems and human systems.
Right. And number two,
The absolute need for clinician-centered design. And that's not just making the screen look nice.
it's about the false alarms again.
It's fundamentally about trust and efficiency. Technology that cries wolf, like with those RPM false alarms, destroys clinician trust and wastes incredibly valuable time. It has to be reliable and intuitive.
Got it. And the third thread,
Geography matters. It really does. We saw it in Portugal's AI, using distance as a screening factor. And the constant U.S. need for better route optimization and knowing where staff and supplies actually are.
even in a virtual hospital, the real world still intrudes.
Exactly. People and things still need to move efficiently.
So it really feels like a shared global journey, doesn't it? Everyone's trying to build this tech roadmap to deliver complex care outside the hospital walls.
Definitely. And we've seen some amazing leaps, right? AI slashing screening time, deep integration into huge EMRs.
Yeah, some really high-tech stuff. But then you
Yeah.
circle back to those very human challenges the Singapore clinicians mentioned.
Precisely. Building rapport through a screen, the frustration and erosion of trust from unreliable tech like false alarm.
It's a real contrast, the sophisticated algorithms versus the basic need for trust and connection.
It is. So maybe the final thought for you, the listener, to mull over is this. What's the real measure of success for hospital-at-home technology?
Is it mostly about saving that clinician time, like the 78% reduction in screening? Is it optimizing logistics?
Or is it fundamentally about ensuring the patient feels safe, connected, and truly cared for? Is it about building trust through technology that is absolutely reliable, almost invisible?
And maybe considering what are those core elements of human care, that hands-on touch or intuition that maybe technology can assist, but perhaps can never fully replace?
That's the question we'll leave you with. Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.